The answer may be very simple. Through firing cruise missiles, they are not fighting a military force, but this is a political war. And this group's real target is not Israel but its archenemy, Saudi Arabia. According to experts, Houthi missiles and drones may not do much harm to Israel, but they will complicate regional diplomacy, especially for Saudi Arabia. To understand this, it is necessary to look back at the history of Yemen and the rivalries in the Arabian Gulf region. Yemen experienced a revolution in 1962, ending centuries of rule by Shiite Zaidi Muslim clerics. This changed the country profoundly. The predominantly Shiite Northern Highlands declared a pro-Western republic, Yemen, while the Sunni South established the People's Democratic Republic of Yemen. After a number of civil wars, in 1990 a deep division broke out between a unified Yemen and most Arab countries. Yemen opposed intervention by non-Arab states to expel Iraqi forces from Kuwait after President Saddam Hussein attacked its smaller neighbor. Saudi Arabia, which supported the U.S. military intervention to attack Iraq, responded by expelling nearly 1 million Yemeni workers from the kingdom. For Yemen, already a poor country, this means shouldering additional economic hardship. Meanwhile, the long-running struggle for influence in the Middle East, between Saudi Arabia and Iran, has found a new theater in Yemen, where a full-blown civil war broke out in 2014. Both powers intervened in the conflict. While Riyadh openly intervened with a loose Arab-African alliance, Iran did not deploy its army but fully supported the Houthis. It is estimated that nearly 100,000 children have starved to death out of 400,000 people killed by war or famine in a war considered one of the bloodiest conflicts for civilians of the 21st century. As of 2022, this conflict has somewhat de-escalated, but Yemen still has two competing governments, neither of which has full control of the country. One is the Iran-backed National Salvation Government, headquartered in the capital Sana'a, and controlling most of the territory. The remaining government nominally resides in the southern port of Aden, but its members are mainly based in Riyadh and have always claimed to be the sole legitimate rulers. Surprisingly, in March, Riyadh and Tehran responded to mediation efforts by China and Iraq and re-established diplomatic relations after 7 years. It is likely that both sides want to ease tensions in Yemen but also want to take advantage of this period of calm to pursue their other strategic interests. Saudi Arabia has a big plan to normalize relations with Israel. But Hamas's coordinated attack campaign on October 7 targeting Israel made this effort of Riyadh difficult. Within days, Saudi Arabia reportedly informed the U.S. that it was pausing plans for the proposed deal with Israel that Washington was trying to mediate. When Gaza is under attack, more or less, the only armed support for the Palestinians comes from Hezbollah. The Houthi rocket launch against Israel on October 19 appeared to be a one-time occurrence. But repeated attacks on a larger scale earlier this week, despite their complete ineffectiveness, appear to be laying bare the reality: a military group is gradually getting involved in the Israel-Hamas conflict. Meanwhile, the White House said last week that Saudi Arabia has demonstrated a willingness to move forward toward a normalization agreement with Israel. However, Riyadh has not confirmed the White House's statement. However, if the White House's claim is confirmed, the Houthis' latest missile launches will make turning that plan into reality more difficult than ever.